What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great, amazing day. Thank you guys if you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching my third video, which is this one. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the support. I really, really appreciate it. So in this video, so far, in my past videos, I've talked about why I started my channel. And then I talked about why I chose the name I chose for my channel, which is I Can, I Will. You see me out here repping it. Don't just talk about it, be about it. It is a little tight though, but it's okay. Shows off my gains, I guess. But yes, check it out. Repping it. This video is going to be about yours truly, me. I'm just gonna share some of my background and some of the experiences I've had, really like obstacles I've had in my life and overcome, because I think it's important for me to share some of those things, because I don't just want my audience, you guys, to think that I'm just some random guy who hasn't faced any obstacles, or just can't relate to what you may be going through, or I'm not just some guy who thinks life is all great because I've had no challenges in the past. So I do want to share some of my personal experiences with you guys, so you guys can kind of get to know me and know what I'm about. I don't by any means have had the hardest, most challenging life ever out there. No. But I've, like anyone, I've had plenty of obstacles in the past. So, I mean, not exactly sure how far back I want to start, but I'm just going to give a little, some information of every stage of my life up to this point. So, let's start. Okay, I am the youngest of four. I was born in this country, but when I was really young, when I was about 3 years old, we went to Mexico, and I was out there for about 5 years. Those 5 years were challenging for me and my family. When we got there, it was a struggle. I don't want to necessarily say we were in poverty, but we were in the struggles. Food was scarce at times at the beginning, and we didn't live in the best home. I remember our home was just one giant room. It was made out of palm tree, our house, and the floor was dirt. Of course, the dirt is floor, I guess you can say that. But in our situation, our floor was dirt, and our ceiling would leak when it rained, so the water would get in and our floor would be all muddy. Like I said, food was a struggle, and that played a big role, I think. Now that I'm older, I think back about it, and it affected me more than I thought it did. And anyway, went to school out there for my younger years. So Spanish was my first language. When I came back here, I was in English second languages throughout all the way through freshman year in high school. But we lived out there for a few years and then came back here because unfortunately one of my parents passed away, and with one parent we couldn't make a living out there for all of us, and my relatives were ill, and we didn't have the resources in Mexico, and the doctors didn't have the resources, and the best choice for them and for their lives was for us to come back here. So we did. And when we got here, one of our family members opened their home to us, but we were staying in a house of 2-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom and 15 people in that house. It was entertaining. I had a lot of fun with my cousins and everybody. We were all family, but as you can guess, it gets pretty hectic with 15 people in a 2-bedroom apartment with one fridge. That was, talk about, someone eating your ice cream or your corn dog or something. But we stayed in that place for a few years, and we eventually moved out. And as a kid during that time of my life, I was really overweight. I was pretty fat. I was seeing a nutritionist, and because of my dad was the one that passed away, he was diabetic, and so it's common in our family. So I was really overweight as a child. I was like obese. Like, I'm talking about, I was not even cute fat, But I always struggled with my weight, and when I was around 10 years old, when I was about 9, I started seeing a nutritionist, and shout out to them because they really did change my life. It took them some time. I was a stubborn fat kid, but the doctor, we developed a really close relationship, and I knew they cared about me. And when I was around 10, I was in a real bad situation, and the doctor pretty much told me, he was like, hey, if you don't change the way you're living right now, he's like, you're not gonna make it to be 18 maybe, or you're gonna die very young. And he told me that when I was 10 years old. And he told me, he was like, do you want to end up in the same situation as your dad? And that really hurt. I was 10 years old, and I couldn't understand the whole concept of life yet, and the big picture thing. But I changed enough. I changed my lifestyle enough so that I wasn't in the crisis zone, but I was still a fat little kid, eating all the food I could. And the reason I said that, like, my past affected me was because I think that in the past, since food was scarce in when I was younger, or at least that was my perspective, I would eat a lot. When people would ask me if I wanted food, I would never say no. And it was never one plate. I would like overeat. So for some reason, I feel like I had this like feeling that like there wasn't gonna be enough food, which it made me overweight. And there always was enough food. I just was scared, I guess. But anyway, I did struggle with that, and that made me change my lifestyle enough to get out of the crisis zone. And grew up, got into middle school, was struggling in life, trying to figure myself, trying to find myself out, trying to find a place where I belong. And during that time, I was, running into trouble with the police, schools. I was suspended. Wasn't doing the best choices, But that's life. We make mistakes, and we can either learn from them or not. And not learning from them causes more trouble. So let's choose to learn from them. At least that's what I think. That's what I recommend. And then when I was in high school, 2 of my cousins actually convinced me to play football. And Cousins, shout out to you guys, because you guys did convince me to play football, and that turned my life around. Sports turned my life around. I started being active, started working towards a goal, something I can identify with sports, and that really helped me. I really like the structure of sports. I feel like I needed structure in my life, and that provided it for me. I needed a goal, and that provided a goal for me. So my energy was aimed in a positive way. And then as football went on, I started thinking like, man, I can really go to college. College became something that was relevant because of football. And people started telling me I could play at the next level, which I didn't know what that meant. But eventually I did, and I started believing in myself, started pushing myself, and Although I didn't get a scholarship out of high school, I went to a junior college, played there, worked my butt off, and earned a scholarship. Earned a scholarship. Emphasize earned. You know, I don't like when people talk about, oh, they gave you a scholarship, or when any athlete gets a scholarship, it's not given. That athlete earned it. You know, no one shows up at your door just because and gives you a scholarship. You have to earn it. So I put in the work, I earned it, and got a scholarship, full ride, to play at a D1 AA, which I came here. This is where I'm at right now, working on my master's degree. I came here, and after midway through my first season, I injured my back. It was just a bad accident at practice. Injured my back, and I knew something was wrong. I got an MRI. I had herniated a disc, and it was pushing against my sciatic nerve, which was causing pain down my legs, and not fun stuff. But it happens with the sport with football. And that was a very hard time in my life, because the thing I identified as was taken away from me overnight. You know, I was no longer a football player. I was no longer an athlete. You know, the group I belonged to, like, was gone. You know, I could be around the team, but I was no longer practicing. I was no longer at a film. It was just, I was in a weird situation, and I had to find myself again. And it was difficult. I had to really sit back and, you know, think about who I was as an individual, what I wanted to do in life, what I wanted to accomplish, what was important to me, my values. I had to, like, rethink my whole life. And thank God I like found myself, and I started thinking, and I was like, okay, like, football is gone. In the grand scheme of life, it was a very small part of me. You know, it didn't define me. That's not who I was. And once I realized that, you know, I was like, okay, I can do other things. I can aim for bigger things, for other things. Like, that doesn't mean my life is over. And next thing I know, I applied for grad school, and I made it in, working on my master's. So that's just kind of a small talk about some of the things I've overcome. It's been difficult, but, you know, like it says, I can and I will. Once I realized that I was capable of a lot of things, and that my past didn't define me, and my situation didn't necessarily make my future. You know, I started taking responsibility. I started learning things that I started focusing on things that would help me. And it's because of all that, I guess, really where I'm going, is that, like anyone else in life, I've had struggles, and I've overcame all those, not just alone, but I've had people help me, and I've done a lot of growing, mentally, emotionally, and, you know, I want to share some of the knowledge and skills I've learned with you guys, so that you guys can also realize that you're capable of doing whatever it is that you want, and that just because you're in a shitty situation now does not mean that it has to be like that for the rest of your life. You know, just because you're struggling with weight doesn't mean that, you know, it's gonna be like that forever. Like I said, I was really overweight. When I stopped playing football, I got to 330 pounds. That's the heaviest I've been, 330. Currently, right now, I am at 240. So I'm like 90 pounds. I mean, I've lost 90 pounds. I'm like 10 pounds away from losing 100 pounds. And, you know, that all started up here. Like, I just envisioned where I wanted to be in life and what I was capable of. And then I started telling myself, like, yes, I can and I will. And I have. You know, so I do work out a lot, and I've thought about incorporating some of my workout videos, maybe sharing some of that with you guys, or some of my journey, my progress from like where I'm at now to where I want to be. If you guys are interested, let me know. Let me know what you guys would like to know. But you know, from now on, I'm gonna share some things that I've learned and that I think are very important for us to live a better life. Things to focus on, coping skills, a lot of things. And if you guys want to know anything in particular, let me know, because I do want to share with you guys. And if you have a question, let me know. I will answer it. I will try my best to answer it. And yeah, that's kind of a little bit of information about myself. You know, not too much, not really in depth. I'm not sure how you say it. That's what happens when you have English second language. Mispronounce a lot of words, but that's okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, hopefully you guys have a better understanding of who I am. I know I kind of talked a lot, but I also don't want to bore you guys to death. You know, trying to keep this video short, not too short, but you know, short enough to where you guys can watch it and not be like, dude, shut up. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to know. But I'm still thinking of what my next video will be about. I'm thinking of sharing like the things that have helped me make the most progress in life, whether it be discipline, ownership, you know, just values, coping skills, whatever it may be. I want to share with you guys so that you guys can also incorporate them and see what works for you. So yes, and like, I just want you to know that you are amazing and you are great and you are capable of doing whatever it is that you want to do. You know, whatever that thing is up here that you're like, oh, that's what I want to be in life, you're capable of that. You are. You just have to realize that and truly believe it, and put yourself in the situation to create those opportunities for yourself. This is your life, no one else's. And if I can just help one of you or somebody, you know, anything I say, one thing that I say, you pick it up and you're like, you know what, that dude was right. Or, you know what, I'm gonna look into that. You know, that's all that I want to do, because at the end of the day, I just want every single one of you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Whatever that may be, the best version of yourself, because you can. You are great and you're capable. You have so much potential to do whatever it is you want to do. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed it, liked it. Yeah, have a great, amazing day, because you deserve it, and you're amazing, and you're beautiful, and you're great. And never forget that you can accomplish whatever it is you want to accomplish. And once you realize that you can, you will, if you set yourself to it and keep on chasing it. So that's all I gotta say. I can, I will. And like always remember that the person who conquers their mind will conquer their world.